Beamish is like, I could do without it, but if daddy loves her, I love her, I guess. Okay. So, yeah. So there we go. All right, chapter 16, some cautions and concluding observations. Chapter 16 of The Science of Getting Rich. If you happen to be turning in now or watching this most recent video, this is a book I've been teaching from for over 20 years. I learned it some 23 years ago. Um, yeah, it's a powerful tool that I use in my workshops, and it's a foundational success manual that I've used for decades. And so now we're wrapping it up with chapter 16. Many people will scoff at that there is an exact, many people will scoff at the idea that there is an exact science of getting rich. Holding the impression that the supply of faith is limited, they will insist that social and governmental institutions must be changed before a considerable number of people can acquire wealth. Yet this is not true. It is true that existing governments keep the masses in poverty, yet this is because the masses do not think and act in a certain way. It's easy to keep you know the story of the image of the elephant tied to a chair, right? They had a chain to a stake when it was little that they couldn't pull out, and it tried and tried and tried. And then once it got older, it said, I'm not even going to try it. And it's tied to a plastic chair that it could, without a doubt, throw away. But it doesn't, because it says that's my limitations. So the government keeps us stuck, or things keep us stuck, or network marketing keep us stuck, or businesses keep us stuck, or our clients keep us stuck because we're thinking in a certain way. See, our clients can keep us poor too. It's about us thinking in a certain way. If the masses began to move forward according to my suggestions, neither government nor institutional systems could check them, could keep them checked, could stop them, could say, couldn't do that. All systems would have to be modified to accommodate this forward movement. If the people had the advancing mind and had the faith that they can become rich, nothing could possibly keep them in poverty. Individuals may enter upon the certain way at any time under any government and make themselves rich. And when a considerable number of the individuals do so under any government, they will cause the system to be modified and open the way for others. The more men who get rich on the competitive plane, the worse for others. The more who get rich on the creative plane, the better for others. That's 2 pages, not one. The economic salvation of the masses can only be accomplished by encouraging a large number of people to become rich by practicing the scientific method set down in this book. These people will show others the way to inspire them, others the way and inspire them with the desire for real life, with the faith that can be attained and with the purpose to attain it, with the faith that it can be attained and with the purpose to attain it. What are you doing, monster? For the present, however, it is enough to know that neither the government under which you live or the government under which you live, nor the capitalistic or competitive system of industry can keep you from getting rich. When you enter upon the creative plane of thought, you will rise above all things and become a citizen of another kingdom. Yet remember that your thought must stay on the creative plane. You are never to regard the supply as limited or to act in a competitive manner. Whenever you fall into old ways of thought, correct yourself instantly. Because when you are in the competitive mind, you have lost the cooperation of the supreme power. Whenever you fall into your old ways of thought, correct yourself instantly, because you are in the competitive mind of you have lost the cooperation of the supreme power. Do not spend any time in planning how you will meet possible emergencies in the future. You should be concerned with doing today's work in a perfectly successful manner, not with emergencies which may arise tomorrow. You can attend to them as they come. Do not concern yourself with questions of how you will surmount obstacles which may loom upon your business horizon. Ignore these questions unless you can plainly see that your course must be altered today in order to avoid these obstacles. No matter how tremendous an obstruction may appear at distance, you will find that if you continue in a certain way, it will disappear as you approach. Or that a way over, through, or around will appear. No possible combination of circumstances can defeat a man or woman who is proceeding to get rich along a strictly scientific lines. No man or woman who obeys the law can fail to get rich. And more than one can multiply 2 by 2 and fail and get 4. Oh, any more than one can multiply 2 by 2 and fail to get 4. Give no anxious thought to possible disasters. In psychology, it's called catastrophizing. There is enough time to meet such things when they present themselves before you in the immediate present. You will find that every difficulty carries with it the wherewithal for its overcoming. Hill and Waddles didn't know each other. Hill never speaks of Waddles. Waddles never speaks of Hill. Hill says every challenge comes with the seed of its own solution. Waddles says you will find that every difficulty carries with it the wherewithal for its overcoming. Same thing. Funny how truth is truth. Guard your speech. Guard your speech. Never speak of yourself, your affairs, or anything else in a discouraged or discouraging way. I'm such an idiot. Don't do that. Don't do that. Never speak of the times as being hard or of business conditions being doubtful. Never speak of business being hard or conditions being doubtful. Times may be hard and business doubtful for those who are on the competitive plane, but they can never be so for you. You can create what you want, and you are above fear. Never speak of times as being hard or of business conditions as being doubtful. There are times may be hard and business doubtful for those who are on the competitive plane, but they can never be so for you. I choose to use the word but there to negate the previous. You can create what you want, and you are above fear. When others are having hard times and poor business, you will find your greatest opportunities. Train yourself to think and to look upon the world as something which is becoming, which is growing, and to regard seeming evil as being only that which is undeveloped. Always speak in terms of advancement. Always speak in terms of advancement. Always speak in terms of advancement. To do otherwise is to deny your faith. And to deny your faith is to lose it. What are you eating? Oh my God. Puppy found something to chew. Imagine that. What are you doing? You don't need to be chewing that up. So you could chew it. You could eat it. You could eat it. Don't eat it. You're a monster. I just got the look. So Always speak in terms of advancement. To do otherwise is to deny your faith, and to deny your faith is to lose it. Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. You may expect to have a certain thing at a certain time and not to get it at that time. This will seem to be a failure. Yet, if you hold to your faith, you will find that the failure is only apparent, not real. Go on in certainty. I love you, Peanut. Go on in certainty. And if you do not receive that thing, you will receive something much better that you will see that the seeming failure was a prelude to a great success. This is so important. It only takes, you've seen hot water, boiling water. You put spaghetti in boiling water and it stops boiling. You put an ice cube in a boiling water and it stops boiling. It doesn't take much to stop the boil, and you have to be boiling to get your dreams, to reach your desire, to reach your focus. And it has to be continuous and constant. Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. I bet if we ran the tape of yesterday, there's a good chance. Molly. What? Nobody's talking to me. Stop. Chew monster. I'm going to put you out with the boys and you can chew on their leg. Molly. I got nothing for you to chew on. Have a puppy and no chew toys. Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. You may expect to have a certain thing at a certain time and not get it at that time. This will seem to be a failure. But if you hold your faith, you will find that the failure is only apparent. Go on in the certain way. And if you do not receive that thing, you will receive something so much better that you will see that the seeming failure was a prelude to great success. That is such a powerful, that is the science. That is the exact science.
Excuse me, can you tell us what page that is on?
It's on in my book, it's on page 108, but this is the workbook.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so
it's chapter 16.
Right, I know that.
And I am in here probably, let's see here. I am chapter 16. 1, 2, 3. My pages are numbered, but I'll give you the paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Somewhere around 18 paragraphs in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you please reread that last?
I will. Let me reread this last little bit.
Thank you.
When others are having hard times and poor business, you will find your greatest opportunities. Train yourself to think of and to look upon the world as something which is becoming, which is growing, and to regard seeming evil as being only that which is undeveloped. Where mouse, where are you? My mouse is moving fantastically different. There we go. Always speak in turn. People ask me, you always just see things differently. Saying it's not something I put on as a show or a shirt. It's the way I choose to see things. Always speak in terms of advancement. To do otherwise is to deny your faith. If you are speaking bad about things that are happening in your life or around you, you are denying your faith. And if you deny your faith, you are losing your faith. There's a science. It's a vibratory state. This is all about vibration. It's one thing to weigh things and to say, okay, this is heavier than that. But the vibration, there is no heavier vibration or lighter vibration. There's just stronger ones, weaker ones, more bass, more treble, bigger waves or tighter waves. This is about the state you stay in. Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. You may expect to have a certain thing at a certain time and not get it at that time. This will seem to be a failure. But if you hold to your faith, you will find that the failure is only apparent. It's only an awareness. It's not a reality. Go on in the certain way. What's the certain way? Go on in the certain way. And if you do not receive that thing, you will receive something so much better that you will see that the seeming failure was a prelude to great success. A student of the science of getting rich had set his mind on making a certain business combination, which at the time seemed to him to be very desirable. He worked for some weeks to bring it about. When the crucial time came and the thing failed in a perfectly inexplainable way, the thing failed in a perfectly inexplainable way. It was as if something unseen, it is as if some unseen influence had been working secretly against him. He was not disappointed. On the contrary, he thanked God that his desire had been overruled, and he went steadily on with a grateful mind. In a few weeks, an opportunity so much better came his way that now he would not have to such an opportunity so much better came his way that he would not have made the first deal on any account. He saw that a mind which knew more than he knew had prevented him from losing the greater good by entangling himself with the lesser. So we've all had this happen. Man, just before this, I had one of the worst days ever, blah, 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 blah. And then you wouldn't believe what happened. Can you stay your faith? Can you stay your purpose? Can you stay driven? Can you stay with as much certainty that you are in the way of the good things? That is the very, how were you eating? That is the way every seeming failure will work for you. If you keep your faith, hold your purpose, have gratitude, and each day do all that can be done that day. When you make a failure, it is because you have not asked enough. When you make a failure, because you make the failure. Oh, I didn't ask for it to come. It's either a lesson or a failure. You make it so. It's either a stepping stone or stumbling block. You make it so. It either gets you closer or farther away. You make it so. When you make a failure, it is because you have not asked enough. Keep on, and a larger thing than you were seeking will certainly come to you. Remember this. You will not fail because you lack the necessary talent to do what you wish to do. You will not fail because you lack the necessary talent to do what you wish to do. If you go on as I have directed, you'll develop all the talent that is necessary to do your work. It is not without the scope of this book to deal with the science of cultivating talent. It is not within the scope of this book to deal with cultivating talent. Yet, it is as certain and simple as the process of getting rich. However, do not hesitate or waver for fear that when you come into the place where you will fail or lack ability. However, do not hesitate or waver for fear that when you come to the place where you will fail for lack of ability. Keep right on. And when you come to that place, the ability will be furnished to you. The same source of ability, which has enabled the untaught Lincoln to do the greatest work in government ever accomplished by a single man, is open to you. You may draw upon the thinking mind to use in meeting the responsibilities which are laid upon you. Proceed in full faith. Study this book. Make it your constant companion until you have mastered all the ideas contained in it. While you are getting firmly established in this faith, You will do well to give up most reactions and pleasures and to stay away from places where conflicting ideas are advancing in lectures or sermons. Do not read pessimistic, conflicting literature. Spend most of your leisure time in contemplating your vision, in cultivating gratitude, and in reading this book. It contains all that you need to know of the science of getting rich, and you will find all the essentials summed up in the following chapter. A summary of the science of getting rich. That's chapter 16. One more. Big chapter. Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways.
It's all those little nuggets that's there today. Good morning, Sean. How are
Good
you?
morning, Diane.
And I think it's, where we're coming to the end. It's just giving you all those little tidbits. Go in certainty and keep continuous and constant. Keep faith and do things in a certain way. Failure is a prelude to success. And if you deny your faith, you lose your faith. So it's all about the state that you stay in. And it's all those things, right? So yes, it all came together.
And you've heard this multiple times as well, and you've read it multiple times as well, and all of a sudden it's like, I know this chapter, they didn't add this chapter since the last time I read it, but boy, it sure seems a little different than the last time I read it. How's this make you feel with these awarenesses?
I'm wondering how I missed it before. I don't know if you read it differently, but it's yeah.
Oh, there's
So-
no doubt that every time that I read this, I'll see something or hear something, or I'm paying attention to the energy in the room that I'm getting from all of you as I'm reading it. So yeah, there's no doubt that it's a variation, right? The 50 Shades of Science of Getting Rich. Yet the idea is that we all are hearing new things. Mind reset. Wow, that was a big reset.
Mm.
So yes, it's and it comes back to an intensity to stay in a certain state.
You
Right.
always make it a lesson, right? Always make it a lesson as opposed to an obstacle or a failure. Yeah.
And so now the obstacle, these lessons, how can you elevate them to even be more selfish with them, more self-full with them?
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we call bragging, being that we tell our stories. And so what happens is most people complain about the stories that's happened in their life. Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. I had this, my first trip to the ranch was 42 hours to get home. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about walking bookstores? Oh my God. All right. Versus, because anytime we bring up anything to complain about, we lose our faith. But we also change our state.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
interesting.
if we listen to people who complain and not use that as, if we listen to it so that we can be sympathetic with them, we lose our faith.
Yeah.
If we can look at the dog that wants to bite us because we're trying to save it and fall more in love with it, going, okay, I'm more determined now to love you even more, and I'm going to put on a thicker glove in case you nibble on my finger. I am going to help you. I'm going to serve you. I'm going to make you feel love.
Mhm.
Versus that, screw that dog. Thing almost bit me.
Yes.
So
It
go ahead.
it's interesting because I was on a call yesterday and there was only one person that was talked about all her past failures,
Mm-hmm.
and we were all trying to say, well, look at it as a challenge as an opportunity. And one girl reached out to me last night because she said, I really want to hear more of what you have to say. And I didn't think I said that much in the call. But it's I guess it's what you put out there that people feel and
You
get
only
that.
need to hit a big bell once for it to sound for a long time.
It's true.
A lot of people are hitting little bells. So you spoke words of truth. I want to hear more of that. I didn't say anything. You spoke truth. That's what I want to hear more of.
Okay.
Truth to them. Right. So
Mhm.
they're an odd duck in this community because it sounds like this conference call, which may be a similar conference call or it could be a different one. There always seems to be this one stick in the mud.
Yeah.
Is it the same stick in the mud?
No, it's a different, and they're all very lovely ladies.
Yeah,
I think
I didn't say they weren't lovely. I just said there's sticks in the mud.
no, I like them. They're
I know
very,
that's okay. You can like them, but there's still a stick in the mud. That stick in the mud needs to be filtered out before you get on the call.
yeah. No, I think that stick in the mud, she wants people to know how miserable her life was, I think
Sure.
something.
Well, there's a actually there's a place for that, and it's called, well, in the States, it's called the Department of Motor Vehicles. Go stand in line and talk there.
And on the weekend at Kyle's, I met Leisha. Leisha?
Yes.
Cute little one from Peru. And she believes in the astro. She was showing me the astro chart and she says, and we had talked about me coming to your ranch and all those things. And she said, okay, let's do your line. And it didn't show that, like she showed me one of her lines close to Los Angeles. And she said, the cops always stop me. Things always happen because it's people in authority. And so she said, let's see what your line is around Arkansas. But there wasn't anything. And it just said, you would find growth and changes will occur. So I guess that's part of what that was, is change was coming and it was my energy or what have you. So it wasn't a bad thing, it was a good thing. So I
I,
guess I'll come back to the ranch.
well, and the key is that we're all looking for wild change.
Mm,
And we're looking for the change to become transformative.
right.
And that's the part we have to become aware of, that there is no bad, there is no good. It's what we make it so.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of shift and a lot of change and a lot of if we look at it from one particular, well, that would make me not want to go back. Well, then you may want to investigate why. If
Mhm.
that would make you not want to go back versus I'm not going back there, those are two different, I ain't going back to anything, to any relationship, to any business meeting, to any conversation.
Mhm.
I don't know. So if something, we always say it here when our signal starts to get wonky on here, it's not that we're losing our connection. Something is interfering with our connection.
Right.
So as you move towards your goals and as you move towards your dreams, is it really like it said in the book, a young man worked and worked and worked, and when it was time for it to be revealed, it failed in an inexplainable way, and an unexplainable way, inexplicable.
Mhm.
There's no reason for that to have failed. only so that something bigger could come. But he stayed out, and he stayed on in faith, and therefore the bigger thing, he was able to see the bigger thing, or be aware of the bigger thing when it showed up. Too many people have setbacks, and they're too busy looking at the setback. They can't see the thing standing right behind them that is the greatest success that would ever have happened in their life, and they're too busy talking about what failed.
That's true. Yeah. Mhm. So there, I understand it now. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you're amazing. And this, so I don't know if Kyle used the term, but this is what Kyle talks about. We can talk shop now.
Yeah.
I can say things and you're like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense now. And somebody else is still going, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
That was one of the most pivotal 40-second dialogues ever, was the beginning of that conversation. Kyle, you got all these people here from California, everything. He says, no, but we're talking shop. I can't talk shop with them. They don't get this. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And it shifted something in me that I hadn't agreed upon, that I'm actually doing the work.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love it. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? What
Good
are you
morning,
eating under there? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka.
How are you?
Outstanding. I am mollified.
I can just imagine. She's very, very, very cute. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Why? And this seems to be everywhere. Why do people rather stay in the negative and chaos than move to the positive? Why?
Because you have a negative, and you have a negative filter that can see it. And you agree with their negativity. You don't want it, but you're being nice and you allow them to have it. You allow their negativity to get into you. There's people all around me that are negative, I think. They can't be
So
negative when they're around me.
So how would you change that? I mean, I can just stop talking to these people.
Well, so give me say something negative, just for sake of conversation. So say something maybe they'd say or whatever.
I can't help you. I can't connect people to you because that's just not how I do business.
So how do you do business?
Well, then they sent me 10 chapters, 10 paragraphs of how they do business, and that's the way it needs to be done.
Awesome. How's that working for you?
Well, evidently it's working for them, but they don't want.
I don't know if it's working for them. I don't know. So my question would be, how's it working for you?
Okay.
I don't need to take all of your stuff. The fact that you're growing a garden that's not, what's a vegetable you don't like?
Celery.
Suppose they were a celery farmer. Would you never talk to them?
Well, I would still talk to them, but I don't buy their celery.
Excellent. So stop buying their shit, and you can still talk to them. You're buying all of their stuff.
Tell this person that they could have just said no instead of
no.
waiting.
Listen. They show up in your life because you're the only person that they can talk this way to, happy or sad. That's why when somebody says happy things to me, I go, isn't that fascinating? Somebody says crazy things to me, I go, isn't that fascinating? I don't have to buy any of what you're selling me. I don't believe what you're selling me. You're believing it. You're like, why couldn't they just say this? No, they look at how much time and energy they spent in pouring into you. They just didn't know how. They don't know how to pour energy into you. Somebody says
negativity.
Well, it's not negative. Could they have been more mean?
Yes, I'm certain they could have been, and they haven't.
So if they could have been, so then this isn't as negative as they could have been. This isn't negative.
Well, but it's not helpful to me in one
But
way.
you have to decide not to be hurt by it. Isn't that
I'm not
fascinating?
hurt by it, but I'm annoyed by it
Well,
because
then that's
I don't
hurt. That's
understand it.
hurt. That's hurt. Annoyed is taking away. That annoyed is somebody bruising your joy. That's hurt. Don't let anybody take away your joy.
Okay.
And when they go, oh, that's not how I do business. Awesome. How do you do business? They send
Well,
you 10 paragraphs. Great. Which one of those do you think I should work on first? All you're wanting to do is open a dialogue. They haven't had anybody open a dialogue that the reason that people send that kind of stuff is because they feel they've lost authority. That's all.
that's interesting.
They lost authority. You have put their foot in a trap. Actually, they stepped into a trap. You weren't setting a trap. They think they stepped into a trap.
No, I was simply asking for help to connect me with more people.
Right. And so what does that tell you that they don't do?
They're not a connector.
So therefore their business probably sucks. Because didn't their business require them to connect to people? If you ask them, hey, listen, help me connect I don't do that. Well, they probably don't do it in their own business.
No, but they partnered with someone who does. So
well, see, there you go. So rather than say I'm not good at that, they had to rah 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 rah, so you couldn't see the real truth.
that's true. Yes.
So you gotta look for the signs. Nobody wants to be mean. They're hiding or defending something.
Oh,
Right?
that's interesting.
So when that happens, it's something I was going to share. It'll come to me in a moment. The question then becomes, we'll see if it slides back in on the ice in my mind. What are you eating under there? I can't see you in the dark. Hey, Molly. Good. Gurgly. Hey, baby girl. So yeah, when somebody starts to respond like that, know that put yourself in state going, oh, this is going to be good. Let's see what they're hiding. Let's see what they're afraid of. And now rather than that you think they're yelling at you, they're literally yelling at the mirror.
That's funny. I told them they were heartless and they were very
Well,
upset.
look at you and how being so kind and gentle. Don't do that. That's you defending you.
And they were not happy about that at all.
No, of course they would. Who would love to be told you're heartless? They're just revealing who they are. Who you are speaks so loud, I don't need to hear the word you're saying. And maybe they were in pain. Maybe they just had an argument with somebody. Maybe their best friend's pet ant died. I don't know. But when people are acting in a unique way that is noticeable, most people they want to operate under the radar. So when this person is operating and they respond that way, you've triggered something that they're fearful of. So rather than talk about that or say, I can't do that, I'm not good at that, they should try to shoot you down. Challenge is I have 17 feet of armor love around me. You can't shoot me down. Well, you're an idiot. I know. I hear that a lot. Some of my best friends say that. Will you be my best friend?
You say that?
Diane
is like, yes.
Yeah, look at Diane.
Look at Diane.
Absolutely. You're not taking me out of my joy. You're not taking me out of my joy.
You're amazing.
Well, but it's not that hard.
It's not that
I want to stay in love. I know my love language. I know what I can do to make sure I do my best to stay in my joy. Listen, I'm a ninja, jiu-jitsu, black belt, green belt, blue belt, karate, and you're coming at me with a wet noodle going, you're no good. I know. People say that all the time. What else you got for me? Well, I thought that was enough. That's all you got?
That's funny. That's a great approach. I would never think of that.
Well, because you're again, the way you've wired, the way you were raised from a child, you have to defend all of the things, the successes you've had. I'll go back to it. You're blonde, you're an attorney, you're smart, you travel, you experience life, you have life story, you have all of these things that most people go, I could never do that. I'm not that smart, I'm not that rich, I don't get to do this. They don't know the rest of the story, so they wind up attacking what they do know. That's why most people don't know what I do. He lives on a farm and he raises sheep. Yep, that's it. That's me. Yep. When I'm tell people I'm a 6-time #1 best-selling author and an international #1 best-selling author, I'm an R&B artist, #1 R&B artist. They're like, what?
What's R&B?
Rhythm and blues. We beat out Mariah Carey on the launch of our album.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't know that about you either.
But what does it matter now that it has? Oh my God! So does my message change now that you know I'm a #1?
No, it doesn't.
No, I know,
think
but my point is too many people.
It adds to who you are
The
and
mystery.
getting to know you. It doesn't change anything, I don't think. But
So it doesn't change anything.
Not to me, at least.
Right, but watch this. It doesn't change anything based upon when the information is revealed. Too many people reveal their titles, so you give them credibility. I give you the credibility and then reveal some of the titles. You're like, oh my God, you do that too? Doesn't change it because we already have established an agreeable level of confidence and communication and love and respect and honor. The titles don't mean anything. It's just, oh my gosh, he's done that too.
Well, and that's very interesting because I had someone tell me yesterday that if I needed my brain fixed, I should just that was what you were doing, and I should concentrate on getting just that from you. But I think there's just so much more to you than that. So I think people sometimes just pigeonhole others.
Well, and so couple of things to be aware of when that happens, because you deal with a lot of people.
Yes.
Is if somebody pigeonholes somebody, it's because that's the thing they're not good at. But if you know the person they pigeonholed and they're good at a lot of things, you have to say, but they're good at so many other things. The person who pigeonholes them doesn't want them to be good at the other things because they're not as good as them in those things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're good at that. I would only use them for that. Don't use them for the rest of this because I could do that.
Because I'm thinking, well, Sean is really good at business. He's like, good at network marketing. Is good with people. Is good. Yeah. So why would I just want this little tiny? I mean, it's not tiny.
No, I know, but compared to that,
this part from you, I would really miss out on all the other amazing things you have to share with us and to share with me and to help me with.
So would you say they're in the competitive plane or the creative plane?
I think competitive, because they're certainly not creative in any way, shape, or form.
And so even people in the competitive plane can get rich. It just doesn't stay. So just be aware of that. So start to look at, is this a competitive in your mind, competitive conversation or a creative conversation? And who and what are they competing with? Because they're not competing with you.
No.
You've only triggered their competition. So maybe become aware of what are they
you. Maybe competing with you in some way.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, you open my mind every day to different things. It's like, it's mind-blowing to me. I can't even tell you how much I absorb, and there is just so much more to absorb. I could do this 24 hours a day and I still not You think it's funny.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Because I'm feeling that I need all of this. And I do use your "isn't this fascinating" lots of times, and it seems to upset the other person sometimes.
What?
You
Based
find
upon
that fascinating? Why do you find that fascinating? How can you say that or something crazy like that? It's like,
right, but isn't that interesting that this tells you that the tribe you've been hanging around has a particular vibe that you're now becoming aware of, and like, I need to find a new tribe.
well, not necessarily my tribe. I mean, there's so much on Facebook, and I spend so much time on social media because of my business. And sometimes I can't control myself. I think I need to answer or I need to say something when I should just move on. And I get myself there. And
So you got to ask which version of you, your creative or your competitive, starts to want to respond to those things. It's your competitive one.
competitive.
Yeah.
Competitive as in, no, I know better than you. This is wrong what you're saying. But most people are not open to hearing anything different because they want to just stay where they are. So I waste
Sure.
time, and I tell myself every morning, I have to stop that. I have to stop that. But then when I see something, I like,
So
oh,
what would be the shift? What would you want to see on Facebook? Shift the algorithm in your own energy. I'm looking forward to invigorating and exciting conversations of creation. I'd
yes,
say that
people,
before you go.
oh.
And so that the universe goes, "Oh, change the algorithm on Carpenter." Because your feed is filled with negative that it's like a crack addict.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
awful.
would start to go Google happiness, go Google puppies and kittens, and let that fill your feed.
I will definitely do that. That's a great idea. Thank you, thank you,
You
thank
are
you.
welcome, welcome, welcome.
I love you.
Love you more. Hey, Shammy. Listen to this voice. Hey, Shammy. She may be doing mom stuff. So when you come back,
Hello,
there you are.
hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm catching my breath. I work out at this time. I drop the kiddos at school and then get straight to it because if not, I won't get it in. So
Okay, good.
catching my breath a little bit. But um, I wanted a reason I raised my hand is because you said something which I know I've heard many times, but it just like ringed in my ear and in my head. And
Good.
um, you said everyone's looking for change and transformative change, and you made an emphasis on the transformative. And that kind of like I just repeated it and repeated it and repeated it. And in my head, and then I was like, I'm gonna raise my hand and let him know how much that like stayed in my mind about specifically the transformative part. Because I know we're all, like everybody wants to be better, pero and when you're looking for change and to be better, I don't think you really think about transformative as like transforming that into energy, into what you do, your personality, other people. I don't know, just like really, I even wrote it down. I don't know. I know I've heard it many times, but I think it's the first time I actually write it down. I had to stop my exercise and go write it down.
So now,
Um,
so here's the thing to possibly open up some eyes of focus towards. You must be in a transformative moment in your life. There's something in your life that isn't simply changing, it's transforming, meaning it's much like putting bread in a toaster. At what point does bread become toast? When it can no longer be bread, right?
funny analogy. When it
I
can,
used to use that in my industrial world because there's different kinds of anyways, so there's different kinds of polymers. And there's ones that are flexible, right? A candy bar put back melted on the dashboard, then frozen, can melt again, right? But
Mhm.
bread put into a toaster can never be untoasted. So transformation is the candy bar changes, It's a candy bar with all of the little Hershey emblems on it, melted on my dashboard, stuck in the freezer. It's now this big round piece of chocolate, but it's still the same chocolate. It hasn't transformed, it's only changed. But
Like
bread
the
put into a
transform.
toaster becomes hard and I can never untoast it.
I
So
see.
the reason this stuck with you this morning is that
Bonus.
you are becoming this toast of transformation, not just this beautiful dark chocolate of molding and being a mom and being a mom here to this one and a mom to that one and a mom to this one. So there's something transformative happening in your world. Are you aware of it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Of course it is. I saw the smile going. So now you have
Yeah.
to ask the one who's transforming paid particular attention to this statement. What was it wanting you to hear more of? That you stopped. It, not you, it, this transformative version of you stopped your exercise, made you find paper, made you find pen, and go write it down because it is tired of you delaying this transformation. Does that make sense?
Yes,
This
it
is what
does.
I'm hearing as I'm listening. Your transformative version of you is talking to me going, I've been trying to get her off her ass to do this for blah, 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 whatever. And so now you're in this transformative moment. You're in this, so the awareness of the transformation. What happens when the transformation, when the caterpillar becomes the butterfly? What's this transformation when you become the butterfly? What is it that you're fearful of? What's the good that's coming that you're afraid won't last? That's what I'm hearing. Mm-hmm. You hear that?
My mind's
Damn, how did he get in my head like that?
yeah. Food for thought. A lot to something
So
to marinate on.
is this making sense?
It does, yeah,
Okay.
100%.
So know this, the part of you that wants the transformation, that is aware of the transformation, have a conversation with it. Say, okay, so the version of me that wrote down all this stuff, tell me what else you want me to become aware of. Literally, I would say that out loud to yourself while you're working out. Because it forced your body. Remember, everything we currently are is in our body. We think it's our mind. I have to change my mind. No, you have to change your body. And the reason we have to change our body is because of neuroencoding. You read something and get mad, your body gets mad. Your mind doesn't get mad. Your brain's not up there stamping around with putting on big stumpy shoes and bouncing around in your head. No, it makes your body walk with anger and fear and frustration. So
Yeah, I have I have that trauma response where when I get like upset about something
yeah,
that I like overreact, I'll get like all shaky, and that's how I'm like, okay, that's how you feel it. I feel it in my body because I know I'm like. Then I have to take like 10 breaths to calm down, and I can see how it's really in your body more than your mind. Your
yep.
mind comes down your body.
And you triggered the feeling, and your feeling triggered the body response. It happened just like that, and it's called a habitual action because you did it without thinking, right? It's just a
Mhm,
response. So with
mhm.
that being said, become aware of it and love it. Going, ooh, oh, look at what my body's doing. Okay, somebody tell me what's going on. And literally say that. Somebody tell me what's going on, because the story you have of the response is not always the same trigger that causes the response.
Mm.
Right? If you go into this shaky body for different reasons, that is simply your body's response to change, to major change, major transformation. It is the same response being allowed to be triggered by different triggers.
Mhm.
Because if you recognize the body and it's Tuesday and I get mad at Tuesdays and then I get mad at Saturdays, but it's the same shaky body response. The response is a trigger to trauma, to, like you said, a trauma response, but it's different things that trigger the trauma. And so if it's different things that trigger the trauma, you have this response queued up, ready to go for when you're about to experience massive change. So I would have a conversation with the hey, shaky body, how, and literally out loud, so that you can hear how goofy it sounds that you have this trauma response.
Yeah, out loud. I think that makes a difference because I
It's
do sometimes I do like have the the thought process
yep.
to myself, but saying it out loud,
Say it out
not
loud
something.
means you're listening to a couple hundred words a minute versus 14,000 words a minute silently in your head and running at a subconscious level. Subconscious level, you don't even want to know what's going on there. 60,000 thoughts a day.
And then I keep throughout the week, I when you're this week that I've been listening, I keep thinking like it's all about optimizing your mind. Every time you say, what did you learn? What did you like? And I always think like what I keep hearing from you, it's all in the mind, optimizing the mind. And
So let me ask the question. The version of you that has the optimized mind, who is she? Who is the optimized Shammy?
uh, I would say the higher version of me, the version
Okay. And if the higher version of you shows up, what happens to this version of you?
what I thought that came to mind is that it no longer exists.
Right. And did you see what your body did? And so if this version of you no longer exists, what happens to everything you've ever done?
Transformed.
And is it okay that if everything because here's the thing, everything you've ever done, when you step into the optimized brain, becomes optimized. It's no longer a problem. Are you okay with leaving some of the challenges behind?
Yes.
Are you okay with leaving the things that were successful behind?
Yes.
And if you leave what the challenges were and the successes were, you now have to set some new rules for you of what are new challenges and what are new successes. That's what optimization does. And if you wanted to optimize your brain and optimize your mind, would you want to optimize it towards positive or optimize it towards negative?
Positive.
So what would an optimized positive Shammy do today?
After my workout journal, read and clean.
Okay. And if you did that, would it be okay if you said, look at me, I was my optimized Shammy?
Yeah.
So say I'm now turning on the optimized version of me. Say that.
I am now turning on the optimized version of me.
And what does that feel like? Where did you feel that in your body?
It feels great. I kind of
Yeah,
felt
but
like a little
where?
rush.
Where do you feel it?
I feel like I felt like a little rush come up and down my whole body
Okay.
of
And so let's say it again. Let's say it again with Shammy love. Love you as much as you love me. And say, I am turning on my optimized Shammy.
from the love you as much as you love me.
No, but no, just say
I
I'm turning on my optimized Shammy and I love me. I love this version of me.
I am turning on my optimized chamois and I love me. I love this version of me.
Now, how do you feel that?
Great.
Here's
Great.
what I want you to do. Before you go do anything else, keep doing your workout. But if you can put your journal somewhere where you can put little tick marks, I want you to say that 100 times.
Mm.
I love the optimized version of me. Tick mark.
I
I love the optimized version of me. Tick mark. Do it 100 times. Neville Goddard and Jacobo. Oh, I can't think of his last name right now. But there's a scientific reason of why we do things, and we say we repetition is key, right? If you do 100 versions and do them with love, and you'll get better at adding the love, because around 50 you'll be like, oh, this is stupid, that's the old version of you. Go, well, isn't that fascinating? I love, and get louder and get more excited. Do it 100 times, Shabby, and I promise you the transformation that you're seeking, that you're concerned about, can easily and effortlessly happen, because this is about, are you ready for the love?
will. I'll do that.
Will you promise me you'll do that?
Yes, I'll do it right. I have time, so I'll do it
Okay,
today.
do
Right
that.
after.
Please do that, and watch what, and notice where you
Loud.
feel it in. Notice where you feel it in your body. Notice where the resistance comes up. Have you ever had surgeries other than childbirth? Okay, so do you ever really hurt something when you were little, like a sore spot?
Fortunately,
What's that?
fortunately,
No.
uh, I've never had any broken bones. I do remember one time in New York while I was maybe 8. I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I jumped from the dresser to the bed, but it was a laundry, the room that a spare room that my mom used as laundry. So there was cables,
Yep.
and I jumped with my hands up, and all of that right there where I have the tattoos, all of that got really bad, like black and blue, and like the lines of
Okay.
the like
Of the
kind of looked
why.
like blood, but it wasn't blood, and that's like the injury that I can remember that was pretty bad. It hurt for like 2
So be
weeks.
aware when
But
you start. Be aware when you start to say these 100 times. I love the optimized version. Just be aware if energy starts showing up there.
and now that I think about it, I don't know that specific um thing that happened has any connection to like childhood trauma, because New York in those years, it's like a lot of memories that I don't really.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know.
just be aware if they start to show up. That's why I was asked. I was asked to ask you that. So just be aware of those things showing up, because those are all things holding you back. And the
It
optimized version of you is going to look at those things, and they're no longer going to be hidden things. They're just going to be things that happened. They're no longer going to have to be things you kept in the closet.
yeah. Can I ask your opinion on hypnotherapy? Because
Love it.
it just,
I'm a
yeah.
hypnotherapist. What do you need?
Oh, you are. Um, I asked because I've seen like information about it online, and
Yep.
um, it kind of that moment in New York and my experiences in New York, and those are like my first 10 years of life. Um, that hypnotherapy, I because I've seen like memories that you block off or that you don't go back to, but
Mm-hmm.
then hypnotherapy, I guess, helps with that.
Well,
I
there's a
just
couple of
never, I know there's like a little bit of how do people think, oh, hypnotherapy is maybe something that is not.
well, the reason hypnotherapy works, the reason most hypnotherapists are good at it, is because you already know the solution to what it is you want. And the challenge is they know they can do good hypnotherapy. They may not understand hypnopsychology and understanding true trauma. They understand hypnotherapy and what it can do. I can take a gas stove, and I can take an electric stove, and I can boil water. So I could say I'm a water boiler. But what
Mm,
boiled water can do to you can really hurt you. So you have to understand. That's why I'm a hypnotherapist, a brain specialist, a mental toughness specialist, a self-talk specialist, all of these things that are revolve around the brain, so that you can really help somebody understand when each tool needs to be used.
okay, I see. Makes sense.
So yeah, we can have
Also,
we can have a session.
yes. Okay. I would really be interested. Also one more thing. Before while Suki was speaking, is this Suki?
Silka.
Sil Silka. Well, first I want to say thank you to Diane because every time she speaks, you guys speak, I feel like I have bonuses. And then
Me too. I
I
know
was
how you feel.
And then Soka, I was thinking, like, wow, I want to congratulate her because she asked so many questions, and I feel her like her passion for wanting to transform, and all the questions that she asks, I thought it was just amazing, and I wanted to congratulate her on that. And then towards the end of her speaking, I heard her say something about it kind of to herself, kind of like giving herself props for that. And I thought that was amazing.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Thank you so
Yes,
much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
yes, really amazing, very cool. I like the the negativity thing. I know it's like a default for people sometimes, and in my own, I I didn't want to really be specific, but I was thinking of my mom
Yep.
because she tends to be very negative by default. And then I was just thinking, like, wow, look at Soka, how she transforms those negative thoughts into questions and has your help walking her through those. I think it's amazing. Thank you, Soka.
So one of the things I'll share with you, Shami, is that if we were to take your mom to when she was 5 years old, where was your mom living when she was 5? Puerto Rico?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when she was 5 in Puerto Rico, do you think she was negative?
Um, I think her upbringing or her surroundings might have been a little
No, it
negative.
might have
I know
been bad, but when she was 5 years old, do you think she was negative?
herself, no,
No. So she had
not
to
at.
learn this.
Mm-hmm,
So somebody taught her to be negative.
mm-hmm,
Can you teach her to be
mm-hmm.
positive?
Yeah, from being positive myself. Yeah,
Yeah. Because she taught you to
yeah.
be negative, but it wasn't that she taught you. That was the only thing she knew. If she taught you Spanish, did she teach you Hungarian?
No,
Why didn't she teach you Hungarian?
because it's not what she knows.
She couldn't teach you happiness either.
Yeah, I get that. I think I've heard it on here once, and I've heard it before. And I actually, before even hearing it, I went through it myself through a moment where it was like, okay, I saw that she did the best. I saw and analyzed and thought and felt and went through that aha moment where it was like, okay, she did the best she could with what she could,
Yep.
and I can do the same, do the best I can with what I can, and keep doing better.
And guess what
Yeah,
you and guess what you get to teach to your kiddos?
the same thing. I tell my oldest all the time, be better than me. Don't be like me, be better.
But he can only be as good as you because here's the problem. This is a huge problem. Every parent wants more for their children. The reason their children can't have more is because they're afraid to embarrass the parent. It's a psychological absolute catch 22. My mom wants me to be more, but I can't be more than my mom. I don't want to make my mom feel bad that I can do more than she can.
Hmm.
Unless the relationship breaks between mom and the child, a lot of people who become wildly successful had some serious hangups with their mom, and they actually disengaged from each other for a while till the growth happened enough that they could come back with forgiveness instead of anger,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, I went through.
if you sit with understanding that you get to transform and you get to be a mom and a daughter mom, you get to teach your mom as a daughter.
Hmm. Um,
That's the
that's
optimized
amazing.
chamois.
Hmm. Yeah.
Where do you feel this energy right now in your body? Right now, where do you feel energy?
In my chest.
Yeah. And if you feel it now, is it more than it was when we started the call?
And my eyes got a little teary, but like
Oh,
happy.
really? Oh. So this is the
Mm,
optimized chamois turning on. Just love everything. You have three children, three amazing kiddos. You've got opportunities. You're in a place where you can work out. You can do things. Could things be better? Oh, hell yeah. Could they be worse? Oh, hell yes. So right now, your optimized chamois getting better, better, better. And showing up here, you loving us gives us all a chance to love you back. And so I would continue to show up here as often as you can because I love you. I know everybody else loves you, but I know I love you. And whenever I see your name, I just giggle inside. Thank you, thank you,
thank
thank
you.
you.
You're great. I I always feel so like it's such always such a warm feeling when you say hi or it. Thank you. Thank you for loving me. I love you guys too.
It's my honor to love you. It's a joy. It's a gift that you give me. I don't know what it is about you. There's something you want to put you in my pocket. There's just something about you that there's an
Thank you.
energy about you that says you just make me giggly. So I love it. And I'm always excited to see you.
Thank you. Me too. And I love your shirt.
Yeah. You dropped this. It's one of my favorite shirts. You dropped your brain. You want it back?
Makes it even better.
Yeah, you dropped this.
That's amazing. And a few
Somebody got this for me. I think it was I
that's amazing.
seen it, didn't buy it. They had saw it, thought of me, bought it, and gave it to me before I bought it. I think it was Rhonda bought it for me. So it's kind of,
Awesome. Awesome. How's Rhonda? Now that
she's
you
good.
mentioned her, I've actually thought about asking you before, but I didn't know if it was appropriate
Yeah,
to
no,
ask you
she's
about.
good. She's good. She's good. They built their new home. They got their barn dominium. They're on their land. They got their lake. She's living the dream life. She's doing some amazing affiliate marketing and just having a blast. And her daughter's,
Um,
I think she's 16 now. Oh my gosh. Um,
wow.
but yeah, I think she's living the life of her dreams. I believe so.
Awesome. I send her lots of hugs and kisses.
Yes. Send her
I
love,
send her
hugs, and
lots of hugs and
kisses. Yep. Love it, love it, love it.
kisses. And then one more thing, a few calls ago, you mentioned like a few some things that you said that you were like, oh wow, I should put that on a t-shirt. I 100% agree. You should put it on a t-shirt and you should coin it. I don't like recall exactly what it was, but you were on fire that call. You were saying so many great things, and then so a few things that you were like, oh wow, I should put that. You were surprising yourself.
I
And there was
what?
a few things that you should definitely put on this t-shirt and also coin them. Coin if they're not coined already. I think there was one word that I'm not sure if it was made up or not, but I was like, wow, you should coin that.
Well,
Amazing.
write them down next time or trigger or say bonus and I'll figure out how to get that done. Yes. We'll do that. We'll sell them in Puerto Rico.
Awesome. Yes. Sell them online.
I love it.
That's the
Awesome.
Shaunism.
I'm very interested in your book. I've been thinking about that. I think you have a book, right? I want to see if I can get it because I love
Okay.
to read.
I've got a few of them that I'll send you some copies. Send me your address and I'll send you some books.
Awesome. Thank
So
you.
yeah, in instant messenger or wherever, send me or WhatsApp, send me your address and I'll send them to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love it.
I
Thank you,
have
Candy.
two here that I have two books here that have handwritten notes from you, and I think that makes it so special. The book, close to my heart.
Well, I will
The
send you some more.
Passionista, the
Yes, the
Passionista. I don't know
Passionista and uh
for not my
Mom and
second
Dadpreneurs.
read. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
awesome books.
Love it, love
Awesome.
it,
I
love it.
recommend them. Thank you. Was Diane gonna say something? I heard her.
Okay. Go ahead, Diane. I think Diane said Shaunisms, but
Yeah, and I just want to say,
yes.
Jenny, I love your smile. I love your smile. And thank you for coming back and sharing with us.
Thank you, Diane. Love you. Thank you. Thank you.
There's just a tone, just a vibration about her voice. I just can't. I could like eat it with a spoon.
My,
Let,
my,
let's go to
my
AJ.
partner,
I love you, Shammy. Let's go to AJ.
love you more.
Are you talking about a voice? All the
Yeah.
terrorist movies have a voice like this.
Yes.
Now, listen, I wanna. What's this?
There you go.
Okay,
We see you now.
okay, we're live. All right. I want to thank you for your input this afternoon for me. I wanted to talk about a few things, but actually, as you and Shane were talking, I grabbed hold of this, buddy, and started writing so I don't forget. And I'd just like to read it. It's
Sure.
like a page. It goes to say this. So as SGM was reading the chapter 16 of SGR, I got a few thoughts. I was driving. Firstly, how to better make use of my time by replacing listening to music while driving, Netflix, and doom scrolling with listening to SGR audio, studying Forex material, watching mastermind sessions, rereading my journals. This will make better use of my time instead of worrying about my chores, having a calendar, having a habit tracking application, and so on and so forth. Secondly, talking about only thinking in a positive way, changing the way you look at things, setback into setup conversion, and only indulging into conversations, activities, and interactions for the purpose of advancement. Offer people a chance to be heard. Negative convo, lingo, and people have no place in my bubble. I understand now that every bit of negativity, no matter how big or small and the subject of it, it ultimately gets me off the 100% belief mark. In order for me to start boiling, as SGM pointed out, there can be no ice cubes in my pot. Both the cubes I could put there, either unknowingly by thinking in ignorance that a particular thing that triggers me is irrelevant, or or others trying to stir my pot, goes to say, I will ask my resilience and commitment to my DMP to protect me and guide me towards a different way. Astrid PS, interested to see what kind of questions, mentoring moments, in parenthesis, do statements in my entries offer. Since I still do statements, it's kind of close to heart.
Mhm.
And I'm interested to see what kind of questions could I draw from this.
So
There you go.
if a negative person comes into your bubble, how would you know it?
I just by conversation that they offer or
Okay.
they try to
And
offer.
is it that they're not allowed, or maybe you won't let them leave negative? Because what we resist persists.
I'd say recently what I've done, okay, let's do it this way. Recently what I've done is if somebody comes up to me and they fire off a conversation that's either complaining or either negative in any kind of way, I immediately try to loop them away from that. I don't necessarily work through it with them, to be honest.
Okay.
I try to kind of, steer the conversation some other way. And if
So
they
you're
are,
doing a lot of effort,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
where it's exhausting. That's why you don't want them there. I want
yeah,
negative people to show up in my life. They just can't leave negative.
I see. So it's I actually working through it.
Well, I use the jujitsu method, right? I use your weight against you.
Yeah,
I don't have to work.
I know for you it's effortless to see through someone, to see the depth of their soul. I know it's effortless for you, but I'm kind of working my way to be
That's
there.
right. I'm just
So
saying
it's
that, but ask how could their leverage, how could their negativity be a positive for them? Simple awareness. They don't, negative people typically don't know they're negative. They're like,
yeah,
how can you
yeah,
not be this way? Doesn't mean that they think they're negative.
yeah. That's very true. Yeah, that's very true. I would. Oh, actually, what I'd do, I just remembered. I would immediately on the spot offer them with a solution that just like on sits on top of my
They don't
mind.
want a solution.
And I see that, yeah, I see they don't want it because they just continue on with
So I
their
see somebody
engagement.
negative. I say, hey, has anybody told you how amazing a smile you have?
Yeah. Okay. I see.
They want to fire their guns. I say we got to change the ammunition.
Yeah, it's the visual I'm getting is they're literally, and this happens sometimes, or it used to happen, should I say. They would come to me and I would provide them with this immediate solution on the
Right.
spot. You know, the
Awareness
first
of
thing,
their idiocy.
avert, yeah, awareness of
Let
their
me tell you
idiocy.
how stupid you are. Here's a solution.
Here's how stupid you are. Um, and you know the visual I'm getting is just what you were saying. They sit there and they're just ready for they're ready to knock me out. You know, and I don't think I want that. So it's
Oh,
actually
and you got to
working.
learn to hit harder.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you can hit me all you want because you're hitting me with pillows. Your
yeah,
negativity doesn't hurt me at all.
yeah.
It's your negativity, not mine. It's when it becomes my negativity that it hurts me. It was yours to begin with. Why should I take your negativity?
So it's just
Bonus.
helping them. Bonus, yeah, bonus, man. It's just to summarize in my mind here.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's working through it with them by asking questions that's then gonna shift the ball in their court and actually make them work through it.
There's some
But
people
they
who
think
just
that's
want
you.
to be negative. That's who they are. Listen, we need negative people so that we can find the positive people. We can't switch everybody to positive. Otherwise, we all be running around going, ooh, kumbaya, and nobody be doing anything. So I want to find out, is this their normal state? Has anybody told you how amazing you are? Their subconscious just goes, whoa, hold the horses. We're in a pissed off negative state. And this person says, nobody's ever told us how awesome we are. Oh, well, and then we get into the competitive mind. You don't know how awesome I could be. Let me show you. And all of a sudden they switch and they go into overload of awesomeness. This isn't my awesome version of me. They know it's not the awesome version of them. Has anybody told you how amazing you are? No, they haven't. And their body changes, their shoulders drop. I just want to thank you for doing what you do. Listen, I talk to customer service people. I dealing with something with AliExpress, and I had to call Amazon UPS, and I got Ali. Ali is an awesome customer service. I said, Ali, I said, we've got some situations here. I said, I think you and I can work it out. I love the name Ali. I think this is going to be an awesome call. He says, well, thank you for that. And all of a sudden we started working. Or I was dealing with I don't know who the other day, something was wildly misconstrued. And I said, you know what? You've got one of the toughest jobs on the planet. And I'm not saying this to blow smoke. They had to find that. You know how hard it is to find the right people to do what you do, to have a conversation, customer service where people think you owe them a favor and you don't even know what they're doing. You're trying to read on a screen a two-dimensional conversation. I said, I just want to thank you in advance that I have no doubt you'll either fix it or put me in the right place. I could hear her smiling. She was tapping keys and finding stuff and fixing things before I even got started because they know who's calling because they got you punching your codes and stuff. Could I be mad because the company did something? This is just who I happen to be speaking with. And she is the gold that I need to dig. Not be mad at the company for what they did to my credit card or this, that, or the other. She's like, nobody has ever talked to me this way. I go, well, I want to be your best customer today. She goes, today, like forever. I'm like, cool. And then I even have more fun. I go, I can't wait to go tell my sheep that I made Connie's day. You have sheep? You guys think I'm nuts. How are you always like this? Because I have conversations like this all the time. How's Peter?
He's great. He
Yeah.
just got me some good lunch. I'm gonna have that after call. His daughters are doing good. His sister, the other lady that's in charge of
Doesn't it
the
feel
joint.
good to be able to tell this story right now?
Yes, it does.
Seriously, I want you to seriously become aware of just whether the story could have been told for months, but it's being told now.
Had an awesome moment just before this call. I'm not gonna say you wouldn't believe it because you would, as I believe it. So what happened is one of my guys, one of my friends that so here in Serbia, just for a little bit of context, you can either go to the store and buy something, jeans, apparel, whatever, or you have the guy that kind of takes
Right.
care of it for in whatever manner. So I have that guy, and I went to his place. His wife, I think they're married at this point. They just got a kid the other day, and their kid is has the same name as my first nephew. And so I told him, hey, listen, I'm gonna go there and buy some track pants or whatever from him. And I said, I can't be there at 11. I'm gonna be there at noon because I stopped by the mall to buy something for a kid. And he was like, no, you don't need to do that, whatever. And I'm like, just drop it. And I went to the mall. I bought some, those baby onesies for newborns.
Yep.
I bought two of them with some cars and whatnot on them, and I went to the grocery store and I bought probably like 2 or 3 pounds of various fruit like bananas and oranges and whatnot. And I went to their place and they live outside the town. So I drove to their place and I was like, congratulations for the kid, and this is for the kid and this is for the wife. And he was like, well, where's my gift? And I'm like, I'm buying stuff from you, you idiot. And he was like, oh, okay, whatever. So the wife came out and I said, hey, listen, because her name's Anna. I said, hey, Anna, listen, this is some fruit so you can make some, shakes and whatever, because she's very pale after the hospital food and everything. She probably needs some vitamins in there. And I said, well, make a shake or whatever. And then this for the baby. And they opened it up. I mean, it was just two onesies. Um, and she just melted. She was, this is so cute. Thank you so much for this. And we had a wholesome moment. And I got some stuff from them. And it was a good interaction. It was a good day. And then I came in here. Um, I helped people with the computer. So they're gonna treat lunch probably someday. Maybe this weekend, maybe the next one. I don't know. But as I said, interactions are just, they just keep on stacking. They become more wholesome each time. And just as you said, this is what blew my mind the other day. It's that it just fires off and starts off with the simple question. I mean, how are you? And having an honest, caring question. Not saying it just to say it, if that makes sense, but really having an intent to ask
Oh,
someone
in a certain way.
how's them doing
In a certain
in a
way.
certain way, young man. And it just became so much more uh, wholesome and so betterer, as you'd say. So I love it. I really love that.
And now all of a sudden there's a snowball of just everything seems to be everything good. Yeah, I would stop doing that right away.
I wouldn't. It's just awesome. And I want to thank you for the input. I've been going over, yeah, one question
Yep.
just before I forget. In the workbook, I started going from SGR from chapter 1 onwards. On page 2 in your workbook, in the PDF you sent us,
Yep.
there's a line I seem to fail to find it in the book. It says, "Spirit awaits fill in the blank from the soul," and I can't find what's the word in the
So
blank.
what does spirit await for?
Well, I'm curious to find out.
Based upon what you know now, what is spirit waiting for?
Uh, well, it's gonna wait for something, that's for sure.
What does spirit want?
Prosperity or abundance.
So
Abundance.
it's your fill in the blank.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was a line from the, okay. Oh, let me write that down immediately so I don't.
So
Okay,
spirit
here it
waits
is.
for what? Spirit is waiting for what?
Abundance from the soul.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Manifestation for the soul. Clarity, joy, happiness, peace.
Oh, so it's kind of my own show here to decide what to do. Okay.
So now that you have that answer, what does the answer give you?
Oh, the answer gives a whole new download now. Spirit awaits abundance from the soul. I'll use that. Spirit awaits abundance from the soul.
So what does this interaction tell you now? You asked a question, you were looking for it, you thought it was somewhere. You found out it was somewhere else. What does this now tell you about your answers?
They're all up in here, man. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So
I feel what you're
doesn't
saying.
Spirit was waiting for you to buy 2 onesies and fruit. Spirit was waiting for you to fix a computer. Spirit is waiting on you to give so you can receive.
Oh, well, in that case, I will amend my initial statement and say that spirit awaits giving from the soul. Makes sense.
It's how you are in that moment. Oh, by the way, hey, look at this shirt. You dropped
Hey,
this.
drop
You
this,
dropped
Skippy.
this.
Sucks to be you, man. Okay, thank you.
That became a very gravitational sentence, didn't it?
Oh yeah. The first chapter, rereading it, and actually, by the way, here's a favor to anybody who's willing to ask. Last night I stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning because I came home from work, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna change and start doing things in a certain way, and drop the stupid music while I'm driving, and I'm gonna be listening on to SGR on repeat, and I'm gonna do that chapter by chapter. So I'm lazy and I don't want to unlock my phone and then restart the whole 2 hour audiobook. And I went ahead and I downloaded the whole 2+ hours of the audiobook, and then I downloaded an video editing application that I have no idea how to use. I learned last night, obviously, and then I dissected each chapter individually, and I posted them on my YouTube channel. They're unlisted. It's not 7, 4, and 14 because I already have that from you. I already have that on my phone.
Hmm.
But this is just to listen to the whole book, as I study it as well. And then in the morning when I'm practicing is depending on the schedule, I usually, to be honest, opt out for the 30-minute RCPs. I find them to be real heavy hitting in the morning for some reason. And I want to thank you for that input. Really. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So if anybody dares to do SGR chapter by chapter, I got them on. So let me know if you need something.
I love it.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Oh, what'd you learn? What'd you like?
Oh, we're not done. All right. I was just ready to
Eat your
dive
lunch.
into these beans at lunch. Yeah. Well, I learned this for probably the 100th time already, but let me formulate it this way. There is no power in the how. That's a truth that I became aware of and that I become aware of every single day as I go on in my journey. But there is really no power in the how. Just with this chapter that you read to us today, the Advancing Man, I think it was Diane who said it, that we heard this 100 times already, and you know that you shouldn't be thinking negatively, you should be thinking positively, and blah blah blah. And you just know all of that. But then on the other note, we all know as well that every time you read it, it's not the same you. It's the same book. It's the same, just as you say, it's the same 26 letter of the alphabet, but it's not the same I that reads it. And for some reason, this is the imagery I got the other day, is that this the DOS, the mastermind, the SGR, the denial of the visa, the business opportunities, the recovery, all of that, it's simply working into a perfection, and that's what I love, because you kind of lit a spark today again with one of those lines, and I remember it from Think and Grow Rich as well. Hill talked about that a man should not be. I'm paraphrasing here, but a man should not be sad or whatever. And no, sorry, a man should not mistake temporary defeat with failure, and that's kind of what setbacks are in my mind, at least. So I want to thank you for that. That's what I love, understanding that.
Love it. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Reg.
Great day, Sean.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Outstanding.
Nice, nice, nice. I have a few questions.
Yep.
Okay. My first question is, would you say your relationships are your riches?
Not necessarily. Well, the answer is yes. The challenge is too many people think that their relationships are only positive. You have a lot of negative relationships too that cause riches, negative riches. So yes, your relationships are your riches. Understanding how you qualify them is why most people stay average, because they got great ones and they got not so great ones. But yes, your relationships are your riches, and your relationships don't always have to be with physical beings.
Okay. Second question.
Yep.
When you were talking about why people are mean, I remember you saying it's because they feel like they have no authority, and I didn't get the second part.
Well, they don't have any authority, and that's how they don't think they're mean. They just think you're not. They can't understand why you think the way you think. Why aren't you thinking like I think? This is the only possible way to think in this way. It's not. And then they want to argue because they have their identity.
Okay.
Nobody wants to be mean. Nobody is born mean. There's not a kid that comes out of the womb going, "Where's that boob? Give me that. I need food." Nobody's born mean. That is a learned trait. So then you have to figure out, where did they learn it from? Chances are they probably learned it from their parents. Definitely society. And then it's a stigma. Then if you're mean, then the only way you can protect yourself is to be the meanest one, because the things you're around are typically mean. You become the junkyard dog.
That makes sense. Okay.
Cool. Would you learn? Would you like? Or is there another question?
There's another question.
Cool.
What I liked was.
What'd you learn? First, what'd you learn?
What did I learn?
I want your head and leave you in your heart. What'd you learn? What'd you like?
What did I learn is I need to look deeper when I look at people. Like, not even what I thought right now, even deeper than that. Like, it almost has to be automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I learned.
Okay.
And what did I like? I like how working with you lately has been for me able to connect with people like with their hearts, not just their mind. I'm able to like feel what they say, because almost every conversation I have with like my friends now, or like people I find close to me, I ask them what they're grateful for, and I just noticed that like I can just feel like their minds go, and I just like kind of see how you teach us, and just like, wow, this stuff is powerful. So that's what I like. And
here's the neat thing. The people that you get to hang around, I may not have a chance to hang around. How is it that the language I use, because let's look at it. Y'all look at me, I think we look different. How is it possible that language I use works for him and works with his friends? Because we all have a basis based and built upon love, period. This is language of love. It's universal language. It's human language. It's not demographic language. It's not income language. It's not race language. It's not education language. It's a language of love. Yeah. And that's called humanity. That's why it works.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't matter like who you are, what level you are. You know, I could ask you the same questions and like it works. I'm just like, wow. and then we could talk about that, and it's just amazing.
And now you're creating a relationship versus a connection. Connections are easily broken. And they can disconnect. If you and I build a relationship, you can't, one person can move out of the relationship. I still have the relationship. But if it's a connection, I can lose the connection. So I build relationships for a lifetime, not a lunchtime. That's why a chamois can come back and feel there's no hesitation. I don't know if I'm accepted back. Of course, you're loved. Get over here. We're going to go kill the calf. Let's go eat. Let's go have a party. Daniela showed up the other day. Oh my God, it's like she never left. It's because it's a relationship, not a connection.
That's deep. That's deep. This stuff is deep, man. Thank you, Sean.
I'll hand you the shovel. We'll start digging.
This guy. Oh man.
Hey, you dropped your brain.
Yeah, I love this stuff. Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
I love it. I love you too, brother. Thank you. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another day of uncovering what we're capable of. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling. Let's dig it a little deeper, Misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
At the next event.
Next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura
vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping dig relationships deeper, better, bigger, wider, Jessie Lee Ward.
Bosley,
we love you. And a little bit of white fluffy all around you.
Girly.
We love you, Fifi. All right. And Molly is sleeping with Beamish, and Beamish doesn't really, he's like, ugh, whatever. But Molly is on the bed sleeping with him. I'll put a picture up in the chat.
Oh, she's won him over already.
She won her over already. I love you all. Appreciate you. See you all in the morning. Bye.
Love you too,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Everyone have a great day.